Welcome back to another episode of Benched. I am your host, Tyler Dunbar, and today we are going to be talking about a big topic in the NBA, and that is the process. With the season wrapping up for the most part, playoffs are still underway, but, the 76ers getting swept by the Celtics. I think it brings up a big topic on the process, and should the process be traded? Should one of them be traded? Should both of them be traded? For those at home who don't know, when I say the process, I mean Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, two of the most influential players in the program right now. It brings up some good questions. So let's dive right in. A little bit of background. Prior history, Joel Embiid was drafted in 2014, and Simmons was drafted a mere 2 years later, in 2016. In 2014, Brett Brown, head coach, was also hired. He coached 7 seasons. With the process since 2016, they haven't made it past the second round of the conference semifinals. And with Brett Brown at helm of the ship, they have missed the playoffs 4 seasons out of the 7 that he's coached. And like I said, since 2016 and before, they have not made it past the second round or the conference semifinals. So, it's been a rough patch for the 76ers. I think the process, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons really take the brunt of not winning, not taking the 76ers as far in the playoffs as people had hoped. But I don't know that they're all at fault. So, with that being said, the 76ers, I think, really have a decision to make here. I know the GM has come out for the 76ers here recently and said that they're not trading Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid, and that's not in the equation. So, if that's really what is going to happen, then, the front office is really going to have to do a really good job this offseason of bringing in new guys, making some trade, getting rid of some older guys. But, looking down at the roster currently, you have Embiid and Simmons, Robinson III, Richardson, Al Horford, Quinn, Tobias Harris, Alec Burks. Nobody other than Embiid and Simmons, really jump off the page at you when it comes to, helping out Embiid and Simmons. There's not just a bunch of raw talent. It's a lot of guys that have already hit their prime, a lot of guys that have already showed what they had, and are kind of on the downhill slope. And the biggest problem with these 76ers in the last few years is they haven't had any shooters. To me, Joel is really the best shooter on the team. One that they can really rely on. And that brings up another point. Tobias Harris has really, to me, been a bust, been a flop. He's overpaid, not shot as well as what I think anybody expected. And I think a lot of 76ers fans can kind of agree that, they pay him way too much for, really nothing. So I think this is a tough discussion. I think that there's a lot of things that could happen. I think it's possible that, they could both be traded. One of them could be traded and it work out in the 76ers' favors. But I think to me, with Brett Brown just being released that he's been fired, and the 76ers are looking for a new coach. I think this could be good for the process. And maybe it is that they need a new atmosphere. For example, Jimmy Butler. He was traded from the 76ers. He played under Brett Brown, and he's even came out and said in public, how toxic that atmosphere was for him. I mean, we can see, now that he's on the Heat, he's playing really well right now, or for this season, and this is the best we've seen Jimmy Buckets play since he was with the Bulls. So maybe that's something that the process needs, is a new atmosphere. But I also think that holding off on this trade to see how the new coach will be, and fit into the program and really bring those guys together, and hopefully the front office can bring in some newly traded talent, preferably shooters. I think shooters will be huge, especially for Ben Simmons, as he's more of a driver, slasher, rather than a shooter. So, I think the simple answer, the easy answer is no, as I think this could be potentially a better season for the 76ers this next season. As always, thanks for listening. If you guys enjoyed today's podcast, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode of Binged.